Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Native English Podcast, your go-to friendly English podcast for beginners and beyond. I'm John.
And I'm Sarah. Hi, friends. If you're tuning in right now, you are already taking a wonderful step for your English today. Please don't forget to hit subscribe and tap that like button if you enjoy our episodes. It genuinely helps us keep creating this content for you.
It really does mean the world to us. Today, we're going to discuss something very real. It's a topic we all see in the world around us, but sometimes find a bit difficult to talk about openly.
That's right. We are diving into social problems, things like depression, poverty, loneliness, bullying, and violence. These are definitely serious topics, but we're going to approach them gently. We'll use simple, clear English to help you understand and discuss them comfortably.
Exactly. Learning English by connecting it to real-life issues makes speaking feel so much more natural. You aren't just memorizing vocabulary lists, you're learning how to use the language in situations that genuinely matter.
So let's start gently. John, why do you think it's so important to understand and talk about social problems in English?
Well, social problems affect everyone in society, Sarah. Even if you don't experience them directly, they impact our families, communities, workplaces, and friendships. Being able to discuss them in English helps you follow the news, participate in real conversations, and express your own feelings much more clearly.
I completely agree. For example, depression is something so many people are facing around the world right now. But a lot of folks hesitate to talk about it because they can't find the right words. Learning to describe feelings of sadness or exhaustion can really help you connect more deeply with others.
Absolutely. Let's focus on depression and sadness for a moment. Imagine a friend comes to you and they seem unusually quiet and low. What is something you could say to them in simple English to check in?
I'd probably start with something like, "Hey, are you okay?" It's simple, gentle, and kind.
Yes, that's perfect. You could also try, "How are you feeling today?" or "Is everything all right?" These are soft, caring ways to open the door for someone to talk.
And if that person wants to explain how they're feeling, they might say something like, "I feel really sad," "I feel tired all the time," or "I just don't feel like doing anything lately."
Right, and as the listener, you can respond with comfort and warmth. You might say, "I'm here for you. You are not alone in this," or "I understand. It's completely okay to feel that way."
Wow, even those tiny phrases can make such a massive difference. When someone is really struggling, simply hearing "I am here for you" can honestly turn their whole day around.
Exactly. Language is incredibly powerful. Even the simplest sentences carry so much meaning when they come from a place of genuine care.
Now let's talk about poverty, which is another very serious social problem affecting millions of people around the world right now. How would you explain poverty in simple words?
Poverty means not having enough money or basic resources to live comfortably and safely. Things like food, shelter, healthcare, and education become difficult or impossible to access.
And people talk about it in everyday English like this. Many families do not have enough food at the end of the month. Some children cannot attend school because their families cannot afford the supplies or the uniforms. People struggle to pay their rent or their medical bills.
Yes, and when you want to discuss this topic politely and constructively, you can ask questions like, how can we support families who are struggling? Or are there community programs that help people in need?
Learning these phrases helps you not only improve your English, but also show real empathy and understanding in conversations. And in today's world, that skill is incredibly valuable.
Now, let's talk about violence, which is a tough topic, but an important one. How can we explain it in simple, careful language?
Violence is when someone hurts another person physically or emotionally. You might say, there is a lot of violence in certain communities, and it affects everyone, especially children. Or, we should work together to stop violence and support the people who are affected by it.
And if you are speaking with someone who has personally experienced something difficult, use very safe and gentle phrases. Are you safe right now? Do you need help? Or simply, it is not your fault. That last one is so important.
So important. And what I love about this approach is that we aren't just learning vocabulary words. We're learning how to speak English in real situations where empathy and the careful choice of words genuinely matter.
Yes, this is very different from textbook English, where you fill in blanks or memorize grammar rules. Here, you are actually practicing how to be present for another person in English.
Let's do some fun practice now. Let's imagine a situation. You are walking and you see a friend and they look very down. What would you say first?
I might say something like, "Hey, you seem a little quiet today. How are you feeling?"
Perfect. And the friend might respond, I am having a really hard week. Work has been exhausting and I just feel worn out.
Then I could say, "I hear you. That sounds really tough. Do you want to talk about it? I'm here."
Exactly. And see how natural and warm that sounds? Even beginner learners can practice this kind of conversation at home with a friend or even speaking to themselves in the mirror as practice.
Talking to yourself in the mirror is genuinely one of the most underrated English practice techniques.
It really is. Okay, another scenario. Imagine a community meeting where people are discussing ways to help families struggling with poverty. You might want to say, how can we support families who are having a hard time right now? Or are there volunteer opportunities to help children in the neighborhood?
And when someone is sharing a difficult story, you can show that you're listening by saying small things like, I see, really, that must be so hard, or I understand. These little responses make the conversation feel real and caring.
And when the topic of violence comes up, maybe in the news or at school or in a community discussion, you can practice phrases like, that's really concerning. I hope everyone involved is safe. Or, I think we need to find better ways to prevent this.
Yes, and it's so important to use kind and measured language, especially with sensitive topics. Even basic words like help, safe, understand, and support do enormous work in these conversations.
I feel like learning English through real-life topics like this is so much more powerful than just studying grammar for its own sake.
Absolutely. You're speaking about real life. You're expressing emotions, asking questions, offering care, all in English. And that's exactly what builds real fluency for beginners.
Can we also practice talking about solutions? Because I think it's important not to just describe problems, but also to talk about what we can do.
Great idea. For solutions, you can use phrases like, we could organize a local food drive for families in need. Volunteering at community centers is a wonderful way to help. Or we can raise awareness by sharing reliable information online.
And these phrases do something really valuable. They not only help your English, they also build your confidence and your sense of being part of a community.
Exactly. Real-life English is about communication and connection, and sometimes even action.
Okay, let's go a little deeper now. John, I've been thinking about something. Sometimes I feel nervous talking about these heavy topics. What if I say the wrong thing?
That's such a natural feeling. Social problems can feel heavy and complicated, but here's the thing. When you approach these conversations with genuine care and simple language, you're almost always going to say the right thing.
That's reassuring, but what specifically should I say if a friend shares something personal, like they're going through depression or they've lost someone important?
The most important thing first is to listen. Really listen. Don't jump in with advice or solutions right away. Just be present. And then you can respond with something like, I understand. It's okay to feel the way you're feeling. I'm here if you want to talk.
Simple, but so meaningful. And I guess showing that you're listening with small words like, I see, really, that must be so difficult, helps the person feel genuinely heard.
Yes, being heard is one of the most powerful things a person can experience when they're going through something hard. And then, once the person wants support, you can gently ask, is there anything I can do to help? Or would you like me to help you find some resources?
Can we do a quick role play? I want to practice.
Of course, go ahead.
Okay, imagine a friend says to you, I lost my job last month and I'm really struggling to pay my bills. I don't know what to do.
I would say, I'm so sorry to hear that. That sounds incredibly stressful. Is there anything at all I can do to help right now?
And then you might add, have you looked into any support programs in your area? Or maybe we can look together and see what's available.
Wow, that sounds completely natural. It's kind without being overwhelming, and it offers practical help without being pushy.
Exactly, and notice that we're combining empathy with practical thinking. That's the real skill in these conversations.
Now, for violence, if a friend shares something serious with you, the very first thing is to acknowledge what they experienced. You can say, "That sounds really scary. I'm so glad you told me. Are you safe?"
Yes, and then it's not your fault. That phrase is simple, but it carries enormous weight. Many people who experience violence or difficult situations blame themselves, and those words can genuinely help.
And if they want advice, you can say carefully, "Maybe it would help to speak to someone who can support you." Or, "Let's think together about what feels safe for you right now."
And the key words across all of these conversations are the same: safe, help, understand, support, listen. These words appear again and again, and they work in almost every sensitive situation.
I have a question now. What if I want to share my own feelings about what I am reading or hearing in the news? Like, I feel genuinely sad seeing stories about children living in poverty.
That is so important, and it is completely natural. You can express your own feelings in simple, authentic English. It makes me really sad to read about this. I feel concerned for people who are going through this. Or even, I wish I could do more to help.
Sharing your feelings is not a weakness in conversation. It makes the conversation more human and more real.
Exactly. And the more we practice mixing empathy for others with our own genuine feelings, the more natural and confident our English becomes.
Let's talk about how to discuss these topics when they come up in the news or on social media, because that happens constantly in today's world. How do we talk about news stories without sounding too dramatic or too negative?
Great question. A good approach is to start with a neutral observation. For example, I read something really interesting and difficult in the news today. Or, I saw a story about families in a certain city who are struggling with rising costs.
Starting neutrally is softer and opens the conversation without immediately creating tension. Then you can add your feeling. "It made me feel worried. I felt really concerned reading about it."
And if you want to suggest something or move toward a solution, you can say, maybe communities could help by organizing local support groups. Or, I think raising awareness is one place to start.
Let's practice a short dialogue using all of this together.
Okay. I read that a lot of children in our city do not have reliable access to school meals.
That is really concerning. I hope there are programs that can support them. Have you heard of any local initiatives?
Yes, actually. I saw that a local charity is providing meals on weekdays. Maybe we could find a way to contribute or volunteer.
Wow, that is exactly how a real conversation flows. You acknowledged the problem, you expressed care, you suggested action, all in simple, beginner-friendly English.
And notice the words we used: concerning, hope, support, contribute, volunteer. These are gentle but genuinely powerful words for conversations about social issues.
Sometimes people get emotional or even angry when discussing topics like poverty or violence. How do we stay calm and constructive?
Always use calm and thoughtful language. Try to avoid blaming phrases. Instead of saying, they should do better or it is their fault, try saying, I think there might be ways to improve this situation, or it's a complex problem and maybe we can think about solutions together.
That keeps the conversation open and constructive rather than closing it down with frustration.
And for depression and mental health specifically, phrases like, I understand this must be incredibly difficult, or I hope they are getting the support they need, show genuine care without overstepping.
Let's summarize some of the most useful phrases from today so listeners can write them down and start practicing right away.
I saw a story about this, and it really made me think. I feel concerned about people going through this. I'm here if you ever want to talk. Maybe we can find a way to help together. Have you heard of any programs that support this? It must be really difficult. Even small acts of help can make a real difference.
These phrases work across so many situations, whether you're talking about depression, poverty, violence, loneliness, or community issues. They're flexible and they always sound caring and natural.
And using them regularly does 3 things at once. It builds your English confidence, improves your ability to handle sensitive topics, and makes you a much more empathetic communicator.
I think what I love most about today's episode is the message underneath it all. Learning English doesn't have to be just about passing tests or memorizing grammar. It can truly be about becoming someone who connects better with others.
Exactly. Language is connection, and when you use it with kindness and care, you're doing something really meaningful.
So, here's your challenge for this week. Try using at least 2 of today's phrases in a real conversation. It could be with a friend, a family member, or a colleague.
Or if you want to practice right now, head down to the comments section. We have a pinned comment waiting for you with a quick practice scenario. Reply directly to our pinned comment using one of the soft, caring phrases we learned today. It's the perfect safe space to try it out.
I love that idea. And remember, you do not need to be perfect. Even just typing, "Are you okay?" or "I understand" is real practice and real progress.
Small steps every day build big confidence over time. Thank you so much for listening today. Please like, subscribe, and share this episode with someone who wants to improve their English while also learning how to care for the people around them.
We'll see you in the next episode. Keep practicing, stay kind, and speak with confidence.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.